In the quiet village of Surashpur, a river flowed, beautiful yet treacherous, its gentle surface hiding a dangerous secret. It was a place of beauty and fear, with strong currents and hidden whirlpools that had claimed many lives. One day, Priya, the only daughter of a billionaire industrialist, returned to the village of her childhood. The river called to her, its waters sparkling with memories of a simpler time. Ignoring the villagers' warnings, Priya, confident in her swimming skills, honed in city pools, stepped into the cool water. She swam gracefully at first, feeling the pull of nostalgia. But then, without warning, the river's true nature revealed itself. A powerful whirlpool grabbed her, pulling her down with an unstoppable force. Water filled her lungs, and her screams were silenced before they could even escape. The world started to fade into darkness. At that very moment, a poor rickshaw puller named Ajay was crossing the nearby bridge. He saw a flash of color in the churning water, a desperate struggle against the current. He didn't know who she was. He didn't see a billionaire's daughter. He only saw a human life in peril. Without a second thought for his own safety, Ajay jumped. He fought against the river's fury, his muscles burning, his lungs screaming for air. The current tried to drag them both under, but Ajay's determination was stronger. He reached her, grabbed her, and with every last ounce of his strength, dragged her limp body to the riverbank. He made sure she was breathing, and then, just as quietly as he had arrived, he disappeared, melting back into the rhythm of his simple life. He sought no thanks, no reward, no recognition. His work was done. Priya woke up in a hospital, gasping for air, her mind a blur. She had survived, but the memory of the river, the feeling of drowning, and the image of a strong hand pulling her to safety haunted her. Who was he? Who was this mysterious hero who had vanished without a word? No one in the village seemed to have an answer. Years passed. Priya recovered, finished her education, and took over her father's vast business empire. She was successful, powerful, and respected. Yet a shadow lingered in her heart. The unanswered question of her rescuer remained a constant, quiet ache. She owed her life, her success, everything she had become, to a faceless stranger. Driven by this deep, unresolved gratitude, she finally returned to Surashpur. This time, she didn't come as a tourist, but as a seeker. She spent weeks talking to the villagers, piecing together the events of that fateful day. Finally, an old woman's memory sparked, and a name was spoken: Ajay, the rickshaw puller. She found him still living in the same humble hut, still pulling his rickshaw, his face weathered by the sun, but his eyes still holding a quiet strength. He was older now, but she recognized the quiet dignity that had defined his heroic act. He didn't remember her as the girl he saved. To him, it was just a day he chose humanity over fear. Looking at him, Priya understood something profound. Her life, her empire, her future, it all existed because of this man's selfless courage. She felt an immense moral debt, a responsibility that money alone could not repay. A public spectacle of gratitude would only embarrass this humble man. Offering him a check would feel like an insult, an attempt to put a price on a priceless act. So Priya chose a different path, a path of silent, meaningful action. She decided to repay her debt, not to him, but for him. She would transform his world just as he had saved hers. Working in secret, Priya established a charitable trust, its benefactor completely anonymous. Her first project was the village school. The dilapidated building was torn down and replaced with a new one, complete with bright classrooms, a library filled with books, and qualified teachers who were paid a fair salary. For the first time, the children of Surajpur had a real chance at a bright future. Next, she turned her attention to the villagers' health. A small, modern hospital was built, staffed with doctors and nurses, and stocked with essential medicines. An ambulance stood ready, ensuring that no one would be left stranded during a medical emergency, especially during the treacherous monsoon season. Then she faced the river itself, the source of her near-death experience. Strong railings were installed along its most dangerous stretches. Warning signs were placed, clearly marking the whirlpools and strong currents. Life buoys were stationed along the banks. The river was still beautiful, but it was no longer a death trap. The dirt tracks that turned to mud in the rain were paved into proper roads. Now AJ's rickshaw could glide smoothly, and villagers could easily travel to the new hospital or the market, their lives no longer dictated by the weather. Slowly, silently, Surajpur transformed. It became a village of hope, health, and safety. The infant mortality rate dropped. The literacy rate soared. The villagers felt a new sense of security and optimism. And through it all, Ajay continued his simple life. He pulled his rickshaw during the day, and in the evenings, he would sit with the village children at the new school, helping them with their homework, his quiet actions a source of inspiration for the entire community. He never connected the village's good fortune to the girl he had pulled from the river years ago. He simply saw it as a blessing. One evening, Priya visited the school. She saw Ajay surrounded by laughing children, patiently explaining a math problem. Their eyes met across the room. There was no dramatic revelation, no tearful confession. There was only a quiet, profound understanding. In his eyes, she saw the hero who chose to act. In her eyes, he saw the gratitude that had rebuilt a world. In that silent moment, they both understood the truth. True heroism isn't about grand gestures. It's about a simple choice to put humanity before fear. True gratitude isn't always spoken. Sometimes it becomes a lifelong commitment to do good. Priya learned that the greatest act of repayment was not to give a man a fish, but to build a thriving river for his entire community. This story reminds us that a single act of courage can ripple through time, changing countless lives for generations. And the greatest wealth we can ever possess is not found in our bank accounts, but in the courage to save a life, expecting nothing in return. For it is in these selfless acts that we find the very best of humanity. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content.